Patrice stood up in the middle of the family cookout, raised her glass and said loudly, "Let's toast to my son Avery and his little gold digger wife who married him for his money." My breath caught in my throat. People gasped, a few laughed nervously. I could feel their eyes burning holes through my skin. Avery froze beside me, completely stunned. "Me, a gold digger? Before we continue, kindly tell us where you're watching us from so we know we are not alone on this." "My name is Lena Hart, I'm 27 years old, and this was the day Patrice pushed me too far." As Patrice kept talking, guests began whispering among themselves. "She only dates guys with money," someone muttered. "I heard she moved in after 2 weeks," another voice added. "She doesn't even have a real job," a cousin whispered loudly enough for me to hear. All lies, every single word. Patrice smiled like she'd just announced a beauty pageant winner, soaking up the attention. She thought she'd humiliated me completely. But she had absolutely no idea who she was playing with. Because in my pocket was the very thing that would end her little game forever. My phone held the truth. When Avery first introduced me to his family 6 months ago, Patrice gave me the coldest smile I'd ever seen. "Oh, she's cute," she'd said, like I was some stray puppy he'd brought home from the street. From day one, she didn't like my background, my job, or the fact that I didn't come from what she called a money family. She once even told Avery directly, "She looks like she wants to marry up and use you." But what she didn't know, what she never bothered to ask, was that I actually earned significantly more than her precious son ever did. A week before the cookout, I discovered something disturbing. Patrice had called my workplace pretending to be a concerned friend, claiming I'd forged important documents. She wanted me fired. She wanted me desperate and broke. Maybe then she could finally prove I was using Avery for his money. But her evil plan failed miserably when my boss immediately alerted me about the suspicious call. That's when I realized Patrice wasn't just being rude or protective. She was actually dangerous and willing to destroy my livelihood. I knew I had to be very careful around her from that moment forward. One night, Avery showed me screenshots Patrice had sent him. Fake text messages supposedly from me, saying things like "I can't wait to get his inheritance, and once we're married, his money is mine." I laughed, not because it was funny, but because it was absolutely pathetic. When Avery finally confronted her about the obviously fake texts, she cried dramatically, playing the victim perfectly. "I'm just protecting you, she's only here for your money," she sobbed. Avery said he didn't believe her lies, but he also didn't shut her down completely. That hurt me more than anything Patrice had done. While helping Avery search for tax documents in his mother's home office one afternoon, I accidentally found something very interesting. Bank statements showing Patrice was drowning in massive debt. Crushing, suffocating debt everywhere. She owed multiple banks, maxed out credit cards, and even owed money to a dangerous private lender. The woman calling me a gold digger was the one actually drowning financially, barely keeping her head above water. I knew then that her vicious attacks on me weren't really about me at all. They were about her own shame and desperation. She was projecting her failures onto me. Back to the cookout disaster. Patrice cleared her throat dramatically, making sure everyone was watching her performance. "I mean, does Lena even work?" she said loudly, waving her wine glass around. "She doesn't have a single dime to her name. Everything she has, everything she wears, Avery pays for it all." People stared at me, waiting for me to break down or run away crying. Patrice smirked like she had finally won this war. The crowd was completely on her side now. But she had miscalculated everything. Very, very badly. She had no idea what was coming next. Calmly, I stood up from my seat. "No problem at all," I said clearly, pulling out my phone with steady hands. "If everyone here wants to know the real truth, let's look at actual numbers instead of lies." I opened my banking app and slowly turned the screen around so everyone could see it clearly. A collective gasp spread across the entire yard like wildfire. A 6-figure balance stared back at them. Substantial savings accounts. Multiple investment portfolios. Recent deposits I had personally made into our joint account, more than Avery contributed, more than Patrice had ever seen. Patrice's jaw literally dropped open. Someone whispered, "Wait, she's the one with money." I spoke clearly and calmly for everyone to hear. "Not only am I not a gold digger, but I've actually been helping Avery financially for months while his mother systematically destroys her own credit score with reckless spending." Patrice went completely pale, her face losing all color. You don't know what you're talking about," she stammered desperately. "Oh, I do," I said firmly. "Including all those loans in your name that you're defaulting on." The crowd instantly turned on her. Even Avery finally stepped forward and said, "Mom, enough of this." Patrice's face crumbled. For the very first time, she had absolutely no comeback at all. I didn't scream at her, I didn't insult her back or stoop to her level. I just stood there calmly with the simple truth in my hands, and that truth completely shattered her whole performance in front of everyone. From that day forward, Patrice avoided making any eye contact with me at family gatherings. People stopped believing her ridiculous lies about me. Avery apologized sincerely and finally started standing up for me against his mother. And me. I went home that evening, transferred some more money into my investment account and smiled peacefully. My silence became my revenge. My success shut her mouth forever. Like and subscribe for more videos like this.